strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome everybody, this is Bulldog, and I'm back with one of my most requested videos ever. This is the top 10 characters that you should focus on for using your defense mods. So I've done a couple of videos showing that defense mods, in particular defense sets. So that's what I'm going to be talking about here is defense sets versus health sets. Defense sets are much better than health sets on almost any character in most situations. So there are certainly plenty of exceptions, but in general, defense mods are superior to health mods. But not everybody has an infinite supply of defense mods that they can go in and switch out their health mods for. So which characters should you be focusing on to get your valuable defense mods for the ones that you do have? So let's get into this. I'm also going to get into the spreadsheet as well, and kind of look at some in-depth examples here. But we'll show you that as we get to it. So number one, and this is kind of in order, but number one here on my list is Bossk. Bossk kind of checks all the boxes you're looking for. So he's a tank, so he's got good defense. Although for a tank, his base defense actually isn't all that great, but he's got lots of defense bonuses. So he's going to get plus 50% defense while he taunts. He's going to get plus 100% defense while he's at full health if he's the lead. So obviously, the more defense you have, the more a percent defense increase from mods is going to benefit you. So Bossk has high defense when you factor in the lead and the unique bonuses and all of that. He also has high protection and recovers a lot of protection. So protection is certainly superior to health when we're looking at who gets the most benefit from health versus defense mods, because health mods don't impact protection. Defense mods impact both. So Bossk has a lot of different bonuses here. This net EHP increase is while he's taunting with full health in the lead. You can see that's a big increase. Net EHP, what that is effective health plus protection. So that is the amount of, and that's effective health and protection adjusted for defense. So that's the amount of that's the amount of damage that an attacker would have to do before adjusting for damage mitigation to defeat the character. So let me go in here and show you the spreadsheet that I was referencing. Nope, not that screen. This screen right here. Defense. So this is for Bossk. So this is what Bossk numbers look like when he doesn't have any of these unique bonuses. If he's not the lead, if he's not taunting, that type of thing. And I'm going to show you just how quickly those increase. And you're going to see the percent. Again, so this is comparing defense mod sets to health mod sets. So defense sets are 23% more effective just at base at Relic 7. These are all at Relic 7. Let's go in and put in the, let's say, 50% health bonus and 50% defense bonus because Bossk is taunting now. And you're going to see that defense bonus, the health bonus actually increased the net, but it actually dropped the percent. But the defense bonus bumped that back up. That's going to be more effective that way. Let's add in the protection bonus. So let's add 50% protection for his lead, and he gets plus 100% defense because we're going to say he's at full health. So that's going to make that 150. Look how quickly all those numbers go up. And then another thing is he recovered with his lead. He recovers a lot of protection, a lot of health and protection. So you can kind of mimic that by adjusting that here. So let's say he gets a plus 100%. We're going to add an extra 100% protection bonus. That's going to mimic if he recovered 100% of his protection throughout the match. So add that to 150. Wow, look at that number continue to shoot up, and you can play with that around. This spreadsheet can be downloaded. You have to copy it and download your own. You can't edit the original, but you can copy it and put in your own numbers and plug those in and see. But you can see that's we were getting up close to a 40% increase in effectiveness for 3 defense sets compared to 3 health sets. So that's a pretty big deal. So on to number 2, Scion. You're going to see he's just somebody. It's a tank who has a bunch of defense bonus. You're going to get plus 100 defense if the enemy has pain, plus 100 defense if Scion has hatred. Then if he gets hatred, you also have to defeat him again because he's going to revive unless you defeat him with in a method that he can't revive. But most of the time he's going to be reviving, so then you've got to defeat him again. So that's going to increase that net EHP even more. That net EHP increase is for if the enemy has pain and Scion has hatred, so it's plus 200% defense. You can see how big of a deal that actually is there. So we don't need to run numbers for that. But on to fives has the highest base defense in the game, and then he's going to get plus 100 defense if Echo is present. So in a lot of situations, that's going to be a constant because once Echo dies, Fives is going to sacrifice. So Echo's basically always going to be there. But that sacrifice is something that's worth considering here because Fives does not share defense. Whenever he sacrifices, he's going to share health, protection, all those other stats. He doesn't share defense. So if you were setting this team on defense, then I highly recommend those defense mod sets because your human opponent knows that not to trigger the 5 sacrifice, so they're going to go after 5s, and they're not going to trigger that sacrifice. So you want 5s to be tankier to make him harder to get through. If you're facing the computer might not really know that. They depending on which team's been hard-coded to go after 5s there, but they're more likely to trigger that sacrifice, so you might want the extra health so that 5s can share it. That's completely understandable, but if you want the goal of making 5s as tanky as possible, absolutely go with he's somebody that you'll want to put a high priority on for getting those mod sets. Magna Guard is an interesting case here. So we've got some big net EHP increase, a big percent increase. He's going to get plus 20% defense for each target locked enemy. So that the net EHP is factoring in if we've got a full target lock team. So I did add that bonus in there. I didn't add bonuses for B1 restoring protection. And it is kind of a fight between Grievous, if you're running it with Grievous, who is trying to take away that protection and health, and B1, who's trying to restore it. But let's go back to the spreadsheet here and just kind of compare a little bit. So this one is IG 100, and let's even just ignore. Okay, let's show how much that defense increases based on the target locked enemy. So here's 1. You'll see it increases a couple percent there. If you look at the raw numbers, you can see there's a 60,000 increase. And like 3, we're going to increase by, there's another 30,000 increase on top of that. So you can see how it can go all the way up to 100 here. But let's say then you've got B1 restoring his protection. Let's say he restores again, let's say 100% protection throughout the match at some point. Now you're really starting to increase these numbers. You're up to near 40% increase in effectiveness for defense mods versus health mods. And I mean, we can make up numbers there all day long, but you guys get the point. One team I really liked in 3 versus 3 with IG100 was IG100 B1 and Watt. Because you had Watt restoring that protection and giving him essentially a permataunt. You had B1 continually topping off his protection, and they basically made IG100 invincible. And then you let B1 do all the damage, can do AoE damage. He would ramp that up as well. So that was a pretty fun team in 3 versus 3, and you didn't have Grievous eating away all your health and protection and that type of thing. So I did think that one was pretty fun. So on to the next one, First Order Stormtrooper simply has extremely high armor, 4th highest armor in the game, and then grants defense up whenever he uses his active taunt as well. So nothing crazy or no crazy numbers to run here. Just flat out has high defense, so he's very effective there. And then if you're running under a crew lead or something like that, you can recover a bunch of protection and health on top of it, and you can really get those numbers up there. So Old Ben is a very versatile character that is not only high armor, but also has very high resistance. He has higher resistance than a lot of characters have armor, which is kind of rare. If you're running him under a CLS lead, he's going to get plus 50% defense. So that's the numbers I ran here, was under a CLS lead. And you can see just a major boost by using these defense mods. You can run them under other characters as well. You can run them under a Jedi lead if you're you can even do something like Jedi Knight Revan lead, and then he's going to recover a lot of protection. So he doesn't get the defense bonus, but he is recovering protection to add on top of that. So various different uses for him, very versatile. Zelbar is another fun one to run numbers for. So you can see his base numbers here aren't all that overwhelming. 136k increase is still very good. Obviously that you're going to want to do that over health mods. But he's one, let's go into the spreadsheet with him, and we can play around with him just a little bit and see how that stacking defense changes things. He gains 20% defense every time he's hit. So some people make him really slow, and that expires after 1 turn. So some people make him slow so that he keeps that that defense bonus longer, and because he does have a passive taunt, so you don't need him to actively take turns. But yeah, let's say he's been hit 3 times. Let's look how that changes the numbers, and you can see such a big increase there. Now suddenly that's looking pretty interesting. But then he also has a way he can recover, thanks to all those dots, he can recover protection. So again, I've been using 100. Let's add, say he recovers 100% of his protection at some point throughout the match. Those numbers really start to skyrocket. And on some of these timeout teams, I bet he's recovering his protection several times over. 500%. Look at how that jumps up the numbers. So those defense mods can really stack up the longer that match goes and the more protection he's recovering, and that can become very, very effective there. Oh, nope, there we go. All right, and then so I've added another first order character, Kylo Ren Unmasked, and again, he's somebody who's his base increase from defense mods is very modest. And again, this shows how good defense mods are, that I'm saying it's a modest increase. When you get an extra 120,000 EHP and you're increasing your survivability by 25%, I'm saying that's a modest increase. So these defense mods really are that good. But on top of that, remember that Kylo Ren can recover a lot of health and protection, especially under his lead. So he's got a unique that will recover 8% health whenever he's hit. That even though it's recovering health, it still benefits defense mods. And then obviously we've shown how the protection recovery can help quite a bit. But let me switch over to crew here. Where is his? Oh, there's his right here. Let's get his on the screen. And I'm going to focus on that 8% health, because a lot of people think because he's recovering health that you want to use health mods. But that's not necessarily the case. So let's ignore any protection recovery. Let's just say, so he recovers his health, 8% health every time he's hit. Let's say throughout the match, he did that 10 times. So he got 80% extra health. So look at I want you to, before I hit enter here, you'll see it's a 25% increase using defense mods versus defense set mods versus a health set. And this is 3 times defense set versus 3 times health set. Look at I want you to focus more on the net. So the net is 118, the percent is 25. So when we do 80, look, okay, that percent went down, but the net went up. So that health boost is benefiting health mods, but it's also benefiting with the defense mods too. It's just not as much. So the percentage is going down, but your net is still going up. So it's still better to use defense mods than health mods, even if you're getting that extra health. And we can use different numbers here. We could say he got hit 20 times and got the full 8% heal. Again, you can see the net is still going up. The percent does go down, but your net increase is still going up with your defense mods. And we'll really see that here. Here are the examples that I love. So you're gonna see 2 Night Sisters here. So zombies, the tank. Night Sisters are probably the most frequent mismodded team out there. Is that a word, mismodded? It's now a word. Mismodded is now a word. Everybody likes to use health sets for them, and understandably so, but defense sets are still better. Zombie, again, gains defense up whenever she's revived, so that can be helpful. But even at her base, even without that defense up, the defense mods are still better. And yeah, so 115k is again a modest increase, but think about how many times you might have to kill a zombie during a match. If you have to get through her 5-6 times, however many times the computer might bash their head against zombie, you're multiplying that by that EHP increase. So that can really get up there and really increase the damage that you have to do to get through zombie. But it's not just zombie. It's also Daca, who's not a tank. Everybody mods Daca with health sets. Everybody mods Daca with health sets. Okay, not literally everybody. And hopefully some of you, after I made these videos, have been modding Daca with defense. Defense is still better despite that stacking health from Daca. It's still better, and I want to show you how. So look at the net EHP increase here on the screen. That's 55k. That's much smaller than some of these others. Some of these other tanks I could have opted to put in here over Daca would see a bigger difference. But remember, Daca stacks that health. And part of this is just me wanting to use Daca as an example, to be honest. But so she stacks that health. So it's only a 15% increase, 55k. So still, you can see from the very beginning, defense is better. But they're gonna say, yeah, but what happens when you stack 1,000% health? Whatever. What if we'll start with that. We'll start with 1,000% health. Let's say you've run Death Storm or something like that, and you've had a bunch of deaths. So Daca stacked 1,000% health. Look at this, defense mods are still better, and now it's not a 55k difference, it's a 330k effective HP difference. And yeah, the percent has gone down, just kind of like we talked about crew, the percent advantage has gone down, but it's still an advantage for defense. And when Daca's getting all of this health, it's you can look at the kind of extreme numbers down there at the bottom for effective health. The more health you get, the defense makes it harder to get through that health. So let's, well, why stop at 1,000? What about 1 million health? What if Daca stacks plus 1 million% health? Look at this. It's still better to use defense mods. Still, we're getting to some funny numbers up here because nobody's gonna stack Daca to it 1 million% health. But you can see it's still better. So defense mods are still better than health mods, even when you're adding all of that health. So the percent health gains are not a reason to use health percent increase over defense increase. So there are some reasons you would want to use health sets over defense. For example, if you're facing a Grievous team where a lot of people are doing true damage or something like that, if they're ignoring defense, Gas likes to ignore defense. Some characters do ignore defense. So if they're ignoring defense, obviously increasing your defense is useless. So yes, there are some times where defense mods are not the best, but in general, defense mods are better than health mods, and these are some of the best characters to use your defense mods on. So hopefully this lives up to the expectations that you guys set. Everybody wanted to see this video. Was very highly requested, so we'll see how it does. If it's not what you wanted, then certainly leave a comment. Let me know what you wanted instead. I know you guys also want to see this done for offense mods, comparing offense, crit damage, crit chance, looking at those factors to see which ones you should mod for different characters. And I'm not sure how I'm going to approach that yet, but whether I want to do a spreadsheet like I just did, or whether I need to look at characters individually. But I do plan on getting to that whenever I get time. It is on the list to do. So let me know what you guys think. And I don't know, if these mod videos continue to do well, then I'll continue to make more of them, because modding is such a big factor in Galaxy of Heroes. And I was nervous that a lot of you guys were going to hate looking at the math, but it turns out I was wrong, and these videos have been pretty popular. So hopefully this continues, and I'll continue to make more. So thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it, and I'll be seeing you around.